Henry Thoreau, I think, he said, the best things in life, they are free and wild. Donatella Versace said, the best things in life are free. The second best things are crazy expensive. So I think, between Henry Thoreau and Donatella Versace, there is some truth. So I want to explain that. I honestly believe that money just makes us more who we are. Okay, so money works as a multiplier, and that's a whole other conversation to have, but it works as a multiplier. So like if you're a certain person with a certain personality, you add more money to that, you're going to express more of yourself with that money. So I figured out what makes me truly happy. What do I need to feel really happy? And this is like, I shrunk it down to a perfect day. Like when I go to bed tonight, what are the things, if I had, got them done or had them in my life, I'd be content. Let's call it content, because happy, go to a party if you need to be happy. We're talking about, like Annika, my colleague in this industry, she would call the inner happiness, like the true happiness. It doesn't feel like going to a party happy. It's something else. It's peaceful. And I came up with it. There are 5 things I need to be happy and content. Number 1, I need to have food in my belly. Okay, I need food. I'm not very, unique there. Most people do. Number 2, I need a roof over my head. Okay, because I need safety. I need to feel like, I'm not going to be attacked, or a wild animal's going to, drag me into the woods, because they would in Cambodia, where I came up with this. It scared me quite a bit. And the third one being, I need to be able to run or exercise. Let's call it exercise for the simplicity of it. It was running at that time. The fourth thing is I need access to internet. Because in the internet, I can keep in touch with people. I can keep learning, which is part of my passion. I can read books and stuff like that. And I thought at the point, this is really funny, I have to say this. I thought at the point I was done. I was like, I've got 4 things, all I need. And you reminded me, you said like, but how about love and relationships? And I was like,
okay, like I have laughter too. That's how important it is to me. Like,
and that just really tells the story of who I am, actually, because I was so driven around like everything else that I forgot the relationships, which I also did in my career. And you're absolutely right. So the 5th thing was relationships. I needed or wanted relationships, and obviously relationships are broad for a reason. So that can be close friends, close partners, or family. Now here's the really cool thing. Look, I need these 5 things to feel content. None of these things are so specific that you can say, well, that's going to cost this much or this much. So look at this. If I make, okay, this is hard without going into too much details. Say that I make an average of $1,500 a month, for example, just an average, $1,500 a month. Then if that's enough to get, give me food, a roof over my head, so that I can exercise, so that I can have access to internet, so that I can spend time with my friends, that's where I would put my money. Now, you can really go into how much does it really cost to have food in your belly? Well, if you're really in a bind and you're not making a lot of money, you can decrease that quite a bit, right? Maybe you can't afford organic, so you'll eat anything that you can get your hands on. That's fine. If you're really in a financial bind, then perhaps you can't afford your own place. So you co-live, right? You live with people, you rent a room, you share a room, worst case scenario. Even worse, perhaps, move into your parents' basement, right? So you can decrease your costs. Exercise. Well, if you have good money, maybe you have a really premium gym membership somewhere that gives you access to classes and free smoothies and all kinds of stuff, right? But if you don't have that much money, then going outside for a walk is free. Or doing push-ups on your bedroom floor is free, right? Internet. Well, if you've got money, you can have a computer, you can have your own internet connection, and you're good to go. If you don't have money, like literally no money at all, well, I know in Sweden, for example, you can get one of those library cards. I think you probably had to put like a $5 deposit, but you get a library card and you can book a computer to access the internet for free. Like if that was really what that was about, all I need to muster is $5 for the deposit for that plastic card so that I can rent a computer to access internet. Okay. And finally, relationships. If relationships are costing you money, you're in the wrong relationship. They're not supposed to be expensive. I mean, you can do stuff together, of course, but they're not supposed to cost money.
Free.
Yeah, exactly. So can you see how like the best things in life are supposed to be free? And if you ever do have to pay for it, you can scale up, you can scale down based on your income level. Now, this gave me tremendously, is that the way we say it? Like tremendous freedom. Okay. It gave me massive freedom because I realized how I can scale my costs. So fun fact, you and I, we used to live on like $600 per month together. And I mean, that wasn't a very luxurious, way of living, but we could do that. So we just like split it down to half. You responsible for 300.
We had
I'm for 300.
our own place. We were living in the city center. We were working half time because we were working on our companies. That's what we wanted to do. So we chose to only earn that money back then, to just give our own companies the time and headspace to invest our time in it. And we had a great year that year.
It allowed us to actually build these businesses that we today have, right? Because we made sure that we didn't have to divide our attention, time, and energy to other things. Now, I was responsible for 300. You were responsible for 300. So we still managed to make that happen, right? And it's really funny. I mean, at the time, we did exactly this. Okay, we've got roof over our head. We got a really cheap place. We were lucky that way. The food wasn't all organic, of course. We're plant-based vegans, so we could grow our food, but we don't have that farmland or anything. So that was out of the question. So, and you're a chef, so you can cook almost anything from nothing. So, we were lucky that way as well. Exercise. I remember I used to cross the road going to the park, and I used to do sit-ups and this was in winter, and I used to do these things, right? So that was one of the ways that I could still do the exercises and the nature, close to nature that I wanted. Internet. Well, we did have internet, I believe, in-house.
I think it came with a place.
Yeah, I mean, so that was kind of part of an expense. And friends, relationships. We had our relationship. We had a relationship with friends and family and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, you could literally figure out your own 5 or your own 6 or how many, important items you have. Figure those out and see. And this is how I do this. So, okay, let's get really practical about this. Figure out what your 5 or 6 things are. Now, see what, create 2 scenarios. One scenario is the necessity scenario. What's the bare necessity that you would need to make in order to meet those needs or wants? Okay.
Yeah.
As I said, for us, it was 600. Like if we made less than that, we wouldn't be able to do anything of the lifestyle we wanted.
Yeah, I remember we sat down and like, how much do we need? And we figured it out. And that just gave anything we made above that, there was like a bonus. So it was, like you were saying before, it was really this freedom. Once you know exactly how much you can be okay with or happy with, because the happiness comes from here and with securing those 5 things, right?
Yeah, precisely. So you've got like a bare necessity. What's the minimum that you need to make or bring in order to achieve those things here? Yeah. Then the second scenario is, what's the dream scenario? What's the really good